Hello, everybody. Once again, we're here with Mike Myers and Moose. There's the boy right there. Say hi to everybody, buddy. There you go. All righty. And this is another episode of Modeling with Mike. And before we get started, I just wanted to let you know what this is going to be. It is going to be a redo of the first part of the uh, Tools of the Trade series. And the reason I'm redoing it is because, as I said at the end of part two, uh, I looked back at the original uh, video, part one, and the sound was terrible, and I sounded terrible, and the whole thing was just terrible. So I decided to redo it for y'all because I don't think you deserve half-cocked stuff. So we're redoing part one. So that's what this is all about. So that being said, uh, let's go with this. This is part one, as I said, of the Tools of the Trade series, what you need to get started. And today we're covering brushes, sprue nippers, sanding sticks and sanding pads, tweezers, and glues and cements. Okay, first of all, brushes. Uh, I have two sets of brushes. Basically, I have a detailing set and a regular set. I bought this regular set. I bought it at Walmart about 2 years ago. It came with about 20 to 25 brushes. I bought it for like $3.50, $4, something like that. And I use these for a number of things. I have a brush. I use a brush for different applications. I use a brush for just regular application of paint. I have a brush that I use for application of, believe this, pencil lead, a real nice gunmetal appearance. So I use one for that. I use I use one to apply this satin varnish to my finished planes and tanks sometimes. I have a brush that I mix my paint in the color cup of my airbrush. Have a brush that I use for uh, my oil washes uh, and a bunch of other applications. You could use these for everything. These here are my detail brushes. These I only use for, as the name says, detail work, fine detail work, and touch up stuff. And that's all I use those for. So these, where can you find them? At the dollar store. 37 brushes for $2.50. And really, you can't beat that. These, I bought a set of 9 brushes about a year and a half ago off of Amazon. They were $12, and I'm still using them, and they're still basically like the day I bought them. Now, if you wanted to go with the name brand, I'm going to use Tamiya because that's basically they make all this stuff as well as model kits. If you go on Amazon and you go to Tamiya, you're going to spend $10.40 for 3 pieces. And you can tell the savings right there. Next up, is a pair of side cutters, otherwise known as sprue cutters. I've had these for 2 years. It's about time I get a new pair. But basically, these are used exactly what the name says. They're used to cut parts off of sprue, the sprue trees that you get your model parts on. You have a flat side and it goes up to angle side. You can put your flat side as close to the part as possible, but you want to leave like a millimeter or two of sprue nub and just clip it off. Now what happens? These are what's called double-edged sprue nippers, and they squeeze in and cut into the plastic to where the plastic finally breaks at the point where these blades come in contact with it. It finally breaks and it cuts. And that's how you get your sprues off. I mean, your parts off the sprue. So basically, you can get these at Walmart for $3.97, $4 for a pair of sprue cutters. And Lucy's getting a little bit of antsy here. Oh, you want to stay up? Okay. And let's see, your Tamiya sprue nippers will cost $27.90 for a pair of sprue nippers. And I'm going to Walmart for those. Now, when you get your parts off the sprue, you're going to want to get rid of that little nub that's left. And that's where sanding sticks come in. You get that nub, you run it across the rough part. Don't force it down. Don't use pressure. Let the sandpaper do its job. And within a couple, 3 or 4 strokes, you'll have that sprue nub sanded down to where the part is smooth. And if you go with too much pressure, if you have a round part, you're going to flatten part of it. And that's not good. It's not going to fit right on your model. So always remember to just use little pressure and, as much pressure as you need, basically, without flattening your part. Let the sandpaper do its job. And then we have this is a sanding sponge. Notice it's more flexible. These are used for polishing your initial sanding. And this is another type of sanding sponge, about the same as this one, parts to a very, very smooth surface. Now, as far as sanding sticks, you can find these at the dollar store. Go to the dollar store beauty aisle. The modeler's best friend is the dollar store beauty aisle. That's where you can find some of these, and they would be under the name of nail buffers, something like that. And these at the dollar store are $3 for 2 pieces. $3 for 2 pieces. Where if you go to Amazon and get your sanding sticks from Tamiya, you're paying $10.40 for 3 pieces. Guess where I'm going? I'm going to look like a fool and go to the women's beauty aisle. Next, we have tweezers. And with tweezers, These are used to pick up and apply very small pieces or detail work such as photo etch uh, onto your model and while you're in the process of gluing. You basically you'll need three kinds. You need a narrow tip, you'll need a straight tip which is a little flatter and wider to handle uh, the curved pieces and stuff without them flying off into nowhere. And then you have your angled tweezer, which is great for putting your parts in very confined areas of the model. If you need to have a little reach where this can't get to, you need this. And this, like I said, works perfectly in those confined spaces. Now, these are at the dollar store, beauty aisle again. Beauty aisle, like I said, modeler's best friend. And you can get them for $4.50 for four pieces. Now, if you go on Amazon and buy a name brand Tamiya, you're going to spend $13.90 for one. Hey, send me to the beauty aisle. Now, Moosey's getting antsy, so I'm going to let him down. Say bye-bye, Moosey. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay, go play, buddy. Okay, there you go. Go play. Be quiet. Okay, now we get the glues. This is what we all used to use if you're my age. I'm going to be honest about it. I'm 61 years old. And when I was a kid, I used this. This is Tester's tube cement. And really, you cannot use it without one of these, a toothpick. Get a box of them at the store. They're like $1. And all you need to do is put a little bit of this on the tip and run it along the part of your model that you're gluing. And that way, you're not going to have it gushing out when you put your two parts together, and you're going to have a nice little joint there where the parts are glued. I went to the Hobby Lobby app, and they're selling it for $4.99 for two tubes. That's $2.50 a tube, folks. That ain't bad. So there you go on that. Now this, y'all remember this from elementary school. This is your Elmer school glue. This is the stuff you used to eat in art class when you were in first grade. And basically, this is good for gluing your canopies on planes. It's good for putting usually on cars or windshield and your back window. And you just put this in there, those two strips that connect your windshield and your back window. Put it up on that roof, on the interior of that roof, and it'll harden. This stuff hardens clear, which makes it also real good for headlights. If you're missing a headlight, just put this into the area where that light was supposed to go, and it will dry clear, and you'll have what appears to be a headlight lens. So basically, this stuff you can get at the dollar store, $1 a bottle. And another thing with this, as opposed to say CA glue or cement, these two things, if you put it on a car window, will fog the clear part. This will not. So there you go. Which brings us another thing. This is also called, if you don't want to look for Elmer's school glue, which, okay, you want to pay more, look for PVA glue. Polyvinyl acetate is what its chemical name is. Then you have your CA glue. CA glue is super glue. And basically you use this for putting on mixed media parts onto your model. A media is different types of material. Basically, anything that isn't plastic that's being applied to plastic, you need this. And remember that this almost bonds on contact, so don't get it on your skin. Don't get If you do get it on your skin, don't wipe your eyes with it. Obvious stuff like that. And yeah, this stuff is a must have if you're going to go into mixed media kits. And you could get the CA glue at the dollar store. That's where I bought this Loctite. $5 for the bottle. Now, if you want to go the name brand route, you can get a bottle of Tamiya CA glue for $20.98. $20 for a bottle of CA glue. No, thank you. Now, this is called Tamiya Extra Thin Cement. This is basically a mixture of two chemicals, it's acetone and butyl acetate. Now, when you mix those two chemicals together and you put them on plastic, it melts the plastic, forms a permanent bond when they dry. Same thing as a welder right here. This is plastic weld right here. And basically, yeah, like I said, it was a game changer back in the day. And really, nowadays, you can't go without it in your arsenal. Okay? Because a lot of times, this makes a mess. This leaves next to no residue when you use it. Now, how much does it cost? Well, the last time I bought this, I found 2 bottles for $12. Okay? I looked on Amazon. There was somebody selling it for $10.95 for 1 bottle. Yeah, and you can get it for less. So let's review here what we've learned. And I will have a bonus tip for you coming up after I get done here. First of all, you need brushes. You need a pair of sprue nippers. You need some sanding sticks, sanding sponges for handling small parts and applying small parts to your model. You need a good set of tweezers, and you need a various supplies of glue you need. Okay, that being covered, if you give me a couple of minutes to set up, I'll set up my bonus tip for you, and I'm going to turn off my camera now while I do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, folks, we're back, and this is my bonus tip for you. This is a 41-piece tool set from a Chinese manufacturer called Xingyang, and it is sold on Amazon. I bought this 2 years ago when I came back to modeling. I bought it for $21.59, and in 2 years it's only gone up 40 cents in cost. It's now $21.99 for all this. So let's go through what you get. You get 3 regular sanding sticks, a sanding pad, a small sanding pad. That's 5 sanding apparatus. You get an all-purpose brush. Get a pair of sprue nippers. You get a hobby knife with a cover and 5 extra blades. You get a pin vise. This is basically a hand drill. And you get a set of 10 drill bits with it. This is called a separator. Notice it has comes to a nice sharp point. If you have 2 pieces, you made a mistake, or you bought a used part and somebody had something put together wrong and you want to take it apart, you use this. You put some Tamiya extra thin to dissolve the glue and melt the plastic a little bit. You put this down the joint and, rock it around a bit and separate your parts. You get this with it. You get an engraving knife. I use this mostly for scraping stuff such as pencil lead for gunmetal applications. I scrape off pastels for weathering. Great for that. You get that. You get a flathead and a Phillips head screwdriver. And these are magnetic. This is a little heavy, but they are magnetic. So you get those. You get a fine line marker. This is great for marking in panel lines and the like your car, on car models, your car doors, on plane models, all your panel lines you can mark in with this. Very handy tool. You get a 6-inch straight edge ruler. I use this a lot for cutting out masking tape and stuff like that. You get a 5-piece, this 5-piece set. I don't know what that was. 5-piece set of tweezers, including 2 regular straight point tips, 2 flat point tips, and an angled tip. All that, and plus they threw in a nice little cloth towel, or nice little cloth there. All this for $21.99. Now I looked on Amazon. This company Xing Yang only makes these sets. They do not sell these tools by themselves. So you're going to have to go on other companies in Amazon or wherever you can find them. I went through Amazon, went through the cheapest I could find for single tools. And if you bought all of these tools separately, it'd be $66.68. And that's a savings of $44.69. I'll have that link in my video description. Now, just show you and tell you what's coming up. Buy this set. You're going to pay $40 more buying everything by itself. And you're going to need your tools before you start building a model. You need it. And then when you upgrade as your budget declares you upgrade. So that's that. Coming up, this will come public Friday morning. The following Wednesday morning will be the third and final installment of the Tools of the Trade series, and that'll cover finishing supplies, weathering supplies, gloves, and polishing supplies. So that's coming up next Wednesday, a week. This is Tuesday the 14th. It'll be a week from tomorrow. And the following Friday, since I've done the Tools of the Trade, I'm going to do a video on where to find models for the lowest price, and you won't want to miss that video. That'll be a week from this coming Friday. Okay, so that's what's coming up, and I guess that's all I have for this video. And remember, this was a remake of the original part 1, so this is part 1. And always, always, always remember to never stop pushing your boundaries. That's your model boundaries. Not your personal boundaries, your model boundaries. And with that being said, folks, have a great week. I will see you next time. Goodbye.